Top of the evening to everyone. Thank you so much for joining me on this edition of State of the State. I am Sunday Kolawole, and today we'll be taking a closer look at on those local government election and matters arising. I'm being joined this evening by the Secretary of the Interparty Advisory Council, IPAC in Ondo State, Mr. Alex Adeniyi. Good evening. Thank you so much for joining me on State of the State.
Good evening, Presenter. Good evening, viewers at home.
Well, we had expected to have the chairman of ODEC, Dr. Joseph Arimo, on this program. Actually, given his word that he will be here until the dying minute, he did say that he would not be making it to the program. We do hope that in the coming days we'll be broadening the conversation around this matter to know what exactly is going on as far as this is concerned. Now, Mr. Adeniyi, IPAC seems to be the arrayed of political parties in this matter, and honestly speaking, that was the alibi given by ODEC that political parties decided not to field candidates sending their nominations for local government election, and that is why the indefinite postponement happened. I'd like to know why.
Thank you very much, but you've asked numerous questions in one. You want to know why political parties or why
said they are not. No, I'm talking about political parties now. You cannot speak for ODEC.
Yes, yes, there won't be ODEC without political parties.
Of course.
The primary responsibility of ODEC is to conduct election to, local governments, so that the grassroots can benefit from government. Having said that, IPAC, where the last postponement that was indefinite was not the first postponement of this election.
Of course.
The notice, if you go by our records, the notice of election have been issued since 2022. I think December, sometimes December, yes, that there will be election mid-2023, and we were all gearing up, for the election. But the body language of the then government does not show sign that there's going to be any election. So over the years, political parties have been running up and down because we understood that local government election is really the grassroots and where you can actually make an impact. But in the case of Ondo State, the last election with our experience, we both agreed that when there's going to be election this way, we must sit down with the government, and so that we will understand. They will understand their position, we will understand their position, not at the timing then they bring all of this abracadabra, we say election will be conducted. And,
I like to understand you very, very succinctly. Which one is abracadabra at the time?
Most of
which
the
one
time,
except
we want to deceive ourselves.
No, let's lay it bare.
That's what I'm saying. Except we want to deceive. Most of the time, the ruling government want a way to have every position.
The ruling party.
The ruling party.
Okay.
Who have a way of maneuvering everything and wanting to say we want. It doesn't only happen in those states. When you look at elections everywhere around the country, local government election, a particular party will claim all the local government or councillorship, which is not. We all knew it is not possible. So on this one, after the first and second postponement, we after leaving ODEC someday, we met at our back level and we insisted we have interfaced with ODEC. We've seen their readiness to conduct this election. We've seen their preparedness, and they've assured us. But there is a principle behind them We must see, we must also get his word. If we have been able to do that, it will be difficult for Odek to come today and to go tomorrow. Because we have been holding him responsible for everything. The last one, we wasted so much money. We went at the point we were in court on it. But you know, the legal issue does not end, timely. We wasted money, resources, and time. We said, on this one, after the first and second postponement, then we must get who is behind this postponement, and we must sit and discuss.
Who is behind the postponement?
It is the government of the day.
The
present one, it is the government of the day.
The previous ones, who was behind them?
The postponement, it is the government that set up. Government set up. Is it not funny?
No.
You set
I
up
understand
an agency. You set up a commission.
Just wait, Mr. Denny.
Which is for
this
the
is not
purpose
the
of
first, neither the second postponement we're having as far as this matter is concerned.
Yes.
So you're saying you want to know who exactly is behind the postponement, and I'm asking you, there have been previous postponements, and I'm sure you say you sat at the IPAC level. What did you discover? Who was behind those postponements?
The government of the day that appointed.
For what reason?
That is the reason we don't know. Don't forget that this same government in power, their political party, the APC itself, did not field candidates. So it further shows that even when you go ahead, it may be a waste of time. You understand? Yoruba will say, "Anfa orile yin olori," and that is just the simple time. We felt that we are just being pushed around, probably because most of these political parties do not have the muscle, the strength to wrestle, power directly at the state level. But at the local level, where we have our people, where we want them to make an impact and representation, we just that they are just being pushed. We are just being pushed around. We now say, okay, no problem. Even when they will be going on with the election, we will sit back and watch. There are times frame for all of these things. We begin to monitor if truly they are serious about conducting this election.
You are the secretary of IPAC.
Yes.
And I'd like to know from your interface with ODEC, can you really say that ODEC was ready for election?
ODEC was ready for election.
How?
Good. After issuing the notice of election, they keep doing follow-up, reminding political parties of their responsibility, what to do to meet up at so time, to meet up at so time. So they showed to us.
Deep down, you may not.
We may not know, but they showed to us.
You saw what they were showing you.
Yes,
did they get sensitive and non-sensitive materials? Did they get ballot boxes? Did they get those other things that they needed to get to show that they were really getting ready for election?
Yes, the form is equal. I cannot specify the specific form, but that used to be free from all there to parties where we show interest. We've gone beyond that part. Political parties have written to them, showing interest in participating in the election. We've gotten the forms, we've given out. It is getting to the point of getting nomination form. At a point, there was a disagreement between the political parties and ODEC, where a certain fee was fixed, and we clicked against it. Now, election at the local level is not supposed to be. These are outrageous. Bring this thing down. The chairman intervened. I think he spoke with necessary authorities. They agreed to step the fee down. But beyond that, we felt that the last time we entered into such, at the end of the day, it does not bring the goodies we want from it. Let us get to know with this election hold. And we said, after the first postponement, the second postponement, running to the third one, we said, we will attend the meetings, the stakeholder meeting, but we'll let them know our position after the meeting. And during the meeting, various political parties put up questions to the chairman and to the commission. We were not satisfied with the response.
What are those questions you put to them?
Of course, you see some of these issues are better. I am the secretary of IPAC. I belong to political parties. Every other party saw reasons why they should be skeptical about the election. They wrote posters about it, and they were not satisfied. And IPAC made thereafter that to say, come, if they are ready about this election, the first party, their boss always say that even if it's just one political party, which we know it is not possible, you cannot conduct election for one political party. We saw what happened in Osrc State. There must be a process. You have done well by following the process, the issuing of the notice. You met up with the time created by law to conduct election. But beyond that, are we serious about conducting this election? You cannot claim you want to conduct an election where a particular political party is in office. The same party was the one who appointed you, And so you want to conduct election without their party. So we just discovered that every other parties that are running up and down are just running for running sake. And because of the fact that the main political party that initially said they will not be participating, and it weakens, the other political parties that are coming up. So we said we should not just waste our time and resources. Let us wait. When they are ready, we will be ready. And we discover that they are not ready. It is just paying lip service to it. ODEC members, kudos to them. They try their best. They run up and down day and night to make sure that we conduct election at the grassroots level. But the government of the day do not have the political will, let me put it that way, or do not show enough political will to say we want to conduct elections.
What does this show about that name? That word in the name of ODEC, independent. Does it mean it is an apron of government or party in power? Is that what you mean?
Everywhere we have ODEC. ODEC, let us remove the O in it, which represents on those states. Everywhere we have the SIEC, State Independent Electoral Commission. Everybody knows that they are apron, tied to the string of any of the sitting government. It is that we do not. They may want to try to say the last election produced one or two councillors that are not from the ruling party, but it is the court who reinstated them. They were not one happened, I think, in the federal, the last one in Akoko Southeast. In fact, the tenure of the Akoko Southeast man is over. Maybe the office is over before the court gave judgment that the one who sat on that seat for the last 3 years is not supposed to be. So we knew it is not because it is on those states, but it is being tied, to the apron of any sitting government. And that is why some of us said that the judgment today, laudable, but one aspect is missing.
Of course, we'll get to that point. But I'm still interested in the local government election issue. I still want to know the nitty-gritty of the grounds of political parties with ODEC. For many, it does not really make sense calling up an election at the very week of that election. Is ODEC just knowing that political parties are not fielding candidates? Is ODEC just knowing that political parties are not sending nominations?
Of course, they understood the fact that they saw the body language of political parties, but coming up at the
should it have been a case of body language actually, Mr. Adeniyi?
Yes, the reason is that you only take. They say you only take. The elephant to the stream. You don't force him to drink water. They felt that they've done their part, and because we felt that what they've done is not good enough for political parties, we cannot go ahead with it. The whole political parties mingle and we talk together. We have meetings not because of ODEC alone. The essence of IPAC is Interparty Advisory Council. It's not for local government election alone. We'll see things. We are supposed to run the government with the sitting government, and whenever there are issues in political parties, IPAC intervene and stuff like that. So we have cause to interface with chairmen of political parties, and we saw that even the sitting, the ruling party, is not interested in this.
You keep saying the ruling party is not interested. Is it safe to say that other parties are appendages of the ruling party?
Not appendages of the ruling party, but don't forget that he who pays the piper dictates the tune. The ruling party must be the one. The essence of the election is for the local government. People to be part of governance, to be part of whatever happens at the center. But the joy, the beauty of it belong to any sitting government, belong to the ruling party at that time. If there have been election today in Ondo State for there are local government elected officers, who will be jubilated today with the judgment we just had from the Supreme Court. But why people are sad now is that even as of today, there were no elected council members. This might infer that the autonomy we might not even enjoy it at the grassroots. So that is why it is at the interest of any sitting government. It is an achievement that you came into office and you conduct local government. It means that you carry the people at the grassroots along with your government. So that is why we keep saying it is, from the ruling party, it is from the sitting government, that they do not want the election, and that is why they go. If you recollect what happened about the SCDAs, going forth and back, there are about 2-3 judgments on constitution of local government categories where PTB took them to court. At the end of the day, they settled out of court. They said they have the right to constitute local government categories. Now they said the local government itself are illegal. And when Mr. Governor will announce again, you announce for local government, LCDs. So all of these things, it is the joy of the people that the government at the center get it right always, so that the grassroots can actually benefit from government.
Well, these issues are already getting interwoven, but then we'll be taking them one by each. Now, still looking at the issue of this local government election, it's supposed to hold in 48 hours, so to say.
Yes.
That's on Saturday, and that's not going to be anymore because of this indefinite postponement. Indefinite postponement. How healthy is that for democracy at the grassroots? Indefinite postponement.
I think the chairman want to save his face with the definite postponement. I don't know, but I also think that he must have sought to know when or whether this election will still hold, and probably he couldn't get the right signal. So it is better for him to say, I announce another 3 months. When this July date was given, it's about 4 or 5 months ago. You understand? So if he had known then, it could have been an endeavor. We will not be discussing this now. So if by tomorrow they meet together again and they say we want to have this election, it will be easy for him to recall than to give a date that probably maybe the urgency of this judgment today now might want to say, the government might want to say, let us conduct this election, because if by going by the words of the judgment, it means funds for local government might be withheld. We don't know yet. But so the urgency might require Mr. Governor to say we must conduct this election. If he has given a date, maybe a 6-month date, and they needed the election conducted on the closer date, it will be also be difficult. Will he call another stakeholder meeting to say we want to bring the election back? So when he say indefinite, it's still in order. Though not good for democracy, but so that if it is tomorrow, if it is a week, if it is a month, they can put their logistics together again, call the political parties, and when we have to get the right signal, we'll join the election. We want to participate in the election with written showing our intentions. At least we have about 13 out of the 18 political parties in Ondo State that have shown intention to participate in the local government election. But it's been about 2 years now. Well, so the parties are already weary. They are worried that what is going on. They just want to be using all of these parties to be a stepping stone where they know where they are. They are heading to. And eventually, we saw the announcement yesterday. So it will have been a total waste of time, resources for all the political parties. If we have said we want to go, we expected that a sitting government that appointed ODEC and ODEC give that. It's an indicting statement that no political parties, including the ruling party. And I sat down in the last 48 hours. Nobody talked about it. Only what we hear is that they've constituted another caretaker committee. It shows they are not interested. They are not willing. Before now, that further confirms the fear of
Who gets indicted in that matter?
Of course, the ruling party. It is the that's the
what does that say about the integrity of ODEC itself?
I do not want to go into that. I know ODEC individual members of ODEC, and I can vouch for individuals of them. Okay. But as a commission, I do not want to go into that. I do not know how they got into office, but individually we can vouch for characters that are in ODEC.
But you cannot vouch for ODEC as
for the commission. No, I cannot.
What are the things you've seen that makes you find it difficult to beat your chest and say you've
because we do not know the instructions given, the mandate given to them. Someone appointed them. They do not appoint themselves.
Are you saying there's interference from the executive to ODEC as far as
who fund ODEC? The executive fund ODEC. So as a result, if I'm the father of a house, you expect my children to go outside my.
So the name independent is actually just there for show.
I've said this before. Of
course, I agree.
Even the national one. Some of why do we have election petitions? Why do we have tribunals? It shows that even at a point, the INEC itself, that is the federal one, might at a point, because we've seen situations whereby elections are turned in the court. So it shows that some forces must have made some announcement which are not supposed to be. So the issue of independence, it is just a name to an adjective to qualify the commission. Are they truly? That is between them and the one who appointed them, who do not know the mandate given to them.
7-member committee each for it's called Transition Committee for the 18 local government areas and 33 council development areas in Ondo State, and that's a 7-member each for each local government and LCDA. For you, this constitution of this committee, it's called Transition Committee, do you find it helpful or otherwise?
Call it whatever name, whatever number that they put there. It is embarrassing at this time and age that we run local government with caretaker or whatever name you call it. Same way it is sad that it is embarrassing that we still have what we call coup in Nigeria or countries around this country. These are outdated system. We cannot run local government with caretaker or transition committee. And I'm happy that the judgment today came at a time the government in Ondo State felt that we can still run it with caretaker. It does not. I congratulated people that their names were mentioned. It shows that they were being recognized by their political party. But I felt for them that how can you, at this time and age, still be talking about transition committee, caretaker committee? What happens to the election? What the people at the grassroots wanted is a representation closer to them. People they can go, they can talk to about what they needed. There won't be development without the grassroots. People participating.
Are you afraid that this forecloses local government election in the state?
The judgment,
the constitution of this transition committee.
No, you see, that is what pains some of us so much. Whatever have been invested in this transition committee, the day we decide to conduct local government election becomes waste. These resources are state resources that are supposed to have been diverted, pumped into some other meaningful development. There is no way people like me, personal opinion now, who are going to agree that caretaker or transition or whatever name should run our local government.
You would have loved that the heads of local government administrations should continue to oversee the.
It's also an aberration that those are the things we are talking about in this state. Running a local government, a constitute the local government is being recognized as same as the state government. Running it with head of administration or with caretaker is an aberration. There is a process that says that brings people into the local government administration, and there is a process that takes them out. They have 3 years lifespan in Ondo State. What we are saying that within the next 3 years, can we not put in place modalities, formalities where we conduct a free, fair, credible election that will bring usher in another set of people as the local government representative. It is because they thought that we can do it anyhow. Let me put it that way. It is the anyhowness of this country. Everybody who is at the end of affair have an opportunity to grab power. They turn it to anyhowness and they begin to act as if they own the system. The Constitution clearly states the functions of the local government. And every time we run away from it, we will think that this person coming after this person will want to do the right thing and will keep doing the same thing, and we expect a different result. We cannot get a different, and that is why there are no development at the local level. They are not enjoying any form of participation.
Your point is very well made, and of course you're entitled to your opinion. They are very valid as far as they are your opinion. But I need you to react to something. A commentator said today that the constitution of this transition committee and also having the expressions, LCDAs, that it is not proper, since there's a judgment of the court saying that the process that brought about the law that set up those LCDAs is null and void. Do you agree with that position?
You are bringing the two things together.
Just
Constitution of the local government caretaker.
I'm talking about the LCDAs. Let me break it down for you. A court did say that having signed the law creating LCDAs outside the shores of Ondo State, that it was null and void. Do you remember?
Yes.
So then, now constituting these LCDAs with local government, giving them transition committees, the commentator did say it was out of order. I don't know if you agree with him.
you know, in the course of our discussion, I did say that even constituting transition committee to the main 18 local government is an aberration.
That's one issue on its own.
That's what the SCDA does not exist. And let me give you a simple analogy. I did ask ODF chairman when we started the process of election for 18 local government. It was along the line that we have the creation of the 33 LCDs. And I told him, I made my local government an instance that, come, I am from Ward 4 in Ondo West local government. Now you created an LCDA in my ward. The LCDA created in my ward consists of just one ward of about 9-11 villages, but just one ward. Now when I am electing the chairman, I will elect a councillor that will be in Ondo West. Now elect a chairman that will be LCDA, because their position is that we only elect chairman and vice chairman for the LCDA. Councillors will be at the main local government. Then why do you run the administration of the LCDA? So all of them is being done shabbily, that we do not understand why they have to rush and bring about these LCDs. And now that the court have given a judgment on it, that look, this LCDs, because of this, in the wisdom of the of his lordship, he said they are non-existent. I wonder why the governor, who is supposed to uphold the law, will now go ahead to announce. If there has been, don't forget that the immediate past administration of Akeredolu did announce members of the committee, but there was an injunction. The PDP went to court and they got an injunction that they should not be inaugurated. When the sitting governor came, he obeyed the law and they were not inaugurated. In fact, at a point, he had to stop them from parading themselves because there is a court judgment. So we do not know what happened between then and now, that the court already gave another judgment that even the LCDA, the creation is faulty, and we went ahead to announce, members as transition members for the LCDAs. To me, it's an aberration, and it is not supposed to happen in a state like Ondo State. We are too civilized for that.
Well, in this issue, before we leave the issue of local government administration in Ondo State, how soon do you think this whole thing should be cleared off so that there will be participatory governance at the grassroots?
You mean the local government election? I will be celebrating the judgment today of the Supreme Court. I will want to thank the president himself for instituting that case, that local government should be autonomous, which means that their funds come directly to them. Why the governors keep appointing, keep removing, keep putting caretaker head of service? It's because they want to have access to the funds of the local government. But now that the fund is not coming, mark my word today, you see all the governors in their next governors meeting, you see everyone will fix a date for local government election. In the next 3 months, you begin to see states that are running their local government with caretakers or whatever name running for election. Go, you will be here to discuss it, because they know they won't have access to that fund again. I think the federal government, the NAS is even threatening that they're going to withhold all allocations for local government. When they do this, when they say they do jack or whatever, the money for federal, for state, is from local government. So when they just give you your state, and they didn't give you the local government, and the condition is that go and conduct local government election, all of them will come. I know in another 3-6 months, everybody will reset back to the constitution of this country by saying we must conduct local government election, and that is what we've been clamoring for. That you don't keep running the administration of at the local level with caretakers, with people the people do not know. When you just announce a name and it comes from anywhere,
how do you mean the people they do not know?
We both belong to this state now. When they are appointing, when you are appointing anything, when it's in an appointment time, it is at the discretion of the governor or
but also from the particular area.
No, don't forget that when you talk of election, that's why there are room for campaign. If it is 1 month, as at the time you are campaigning, the people are getting to know
you. Okay.
But somebody just woke up one day and he became local government chairman. The people do know, because he never even told them, this is what I will do, this is what I cannot do, this is where I came from. So that's why I said the people do not know. They do not know them.
Will not be enhanced.
That is it. The mandate did not come from the people. So it will be difficult from the people to demand accountability from them. So they don't know them. But if it is election, even though if it is 30 days, There will be campaign. They will go to our palace. They will go to the church. They will go to schools. People will see them and interact with them. By so doing, they will know them.
Let's quickly talk about food security, especially as it also has to do with grassroots governance in Nigeria. Some time ago, you remember, there were many whoos and cries about this over-bloated system of governance in Nigeria. Remember the Osrc report and the implementation of SAIL, bringing about the merger of some ministries and agencies into one. Now, recently, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu did approve the creation of a Ministry of Livestock Development. Does that render the Ministry of Agriculture useless? Does that mean that the Ministry of Agriculture cannot sufficiently take care of livestock development in Nigeria? What are your thoughts?
Issues like this bring to mind how sincere a government can be. If we want to claim that in the media, for instance, you merge so many of these agencies together and say they should form one. In some other places, even to the army, the Nigerian defense, you merge so many of them together, and you now come to agriculture, which will be one of the most pivotal in the country. And you say you now want to split. We keep wondering why. We do not know. Of course, we've gone through the reasons it prefers. Unemployment, creating jobs, secure protein, whatever. All of that. This can still happen under the Ministry of Agriculture if we have the right person to manage.
Call it whatever name. The right person to manage. I'll come back to that. Let me allow you to finish with that.
Call it whatever name. If it's being managed by the wrong person, it won't still bring about development in that sector.
So let's break it down a bit. Ondo State has a Ministry of Agriculture and Forestry. You go to the state, you have a Ministry of Agriculture. Almost all the states in Nigeria have a Ministry of Agriculture. And the question keeps coming up. Where are their demonstration farms? Local governments have no farm. You do not find school farms anymore anywhere. All of these things that we are talking about, food security, are we serious?
Your guess is as good, or your question is as good as mine. You see, some of these things kept living as peace, and we are not talking because powers too centralized at the center. The local government we're talking about, for instance, do not even exist in the first place. Few hours ago, I saw on the internet that Niger State has cultivated, and they said in about a few months they will be not only be feeding Niger State. When you drive through the length and breadth of Ondo State, you see forest everywhere, and you keep wondering what is going on. Why are we not making adequate use of this forest? But when it is private, it works. Once it is government, it dies. Why? The other time we talked about Londo Rice here. He is dead before his birth. The project died before it came to life. And people do not ask questions. And we cannot ask questions that what is going on. So we want to talk about food security. Government must be alive to their responsibility. Their basic aim is the security of land and how to provide for the welfare of their citizens. They failed in that. And that is why they begin to push their responsibilities out. And that is why we are talking of private people going into this. If they have led by example, it will be easy for people to say we are going into this. Agriculture or farming today, what it takes to cultivate an hectare of land now, for tomato for instance, is times 4 of what we used to do in about a few years ago. And it is all boiled down to the policies of government. So they must bring out realistic policies that can assist.
Is it the policies that are faulty or implementation of same?
Whatever, you see, when we talk at this stage for now, whatever is strong in Ondo State here cannot be right in the Ekiti, cannot be right in the Edo State. So if it is the implementation, but something is strong, fundamentally wrong, and it is giving people like us concern. And why we cannot, we keep saying we are government, all of us are not government, because there are people who take these decisions. When fertilizers arrive in those states, it does not get to the hand of people who needed fertilizer. When we say we are doing palliative for poultry farmers, it does not get to the hand of people.
How sure are you that it didn't get to them?
You see, at at times,
I want to know. Of course, that's what I'm asking you.
You are a journalist.
You are making an assertive statement.
Yes.
So I want to know how you arrived at that. You said when fertilizers are getting to Ondo State, they do not get into the hands of those who need it. That's what you said.
Yes.
And that palliative for who got them.
Where I am going to is that you are a journalist. For instance, if not for Wike then, who knew out of every one of us that the Buhari-led administration was giving fund to bail out state? But there was a rift between the governor of Rivers and Delta State. And he came out to say, well, this is what I have used my fund. It was then people now begin to ask questions. Do we not receive out of this fund? Later we got to know that Ondo State was even beneficiary. So those are the things we are talking about. All of this may not be said, on television, but you are a journalist. You do your investigations. At times when people make statements, all of them can. I do not benefit from the last government, from this current government. So I am not speaking for anybody. I am speaking for what I know. I am a poultry farmer.
That's what I'm asking you.
I am a poultry farmer, for instance.
That's the question.
The news, we got a news that was discussed on Facebook, and it took about 3-4 weeks before the thing went down, where they said they've given that because of what they gave to poultry farmers, the eggs from farm have reduced from 5,000 to 3,000. I asked them, when was the time? Mention the time they ever sold egg in the farm for 5,000. So the news is not correct. But whoever reported that is also a journalist. He has not done any investigation on it.
You saw that on Facebook.
I saw it on Facebook, and we engaged it on Facebook.
So how did you know the person is a journalist? That's another issue. Because everyone is not claiming to be one. If someone is on Facebook and is making a post, it's just a citizen making a post on Facebook. I think we should get that.
He's a non-person, and that was why
the person is a non-person to you,
to me.
Okay, and you know him to be a journalist.
Yes.
Okay, then.
And that was why I attacked him. Okay. If he had been ordinary person, I would have just maybe a post. Okay. But because I know this person, and I told, because you attended that program, that they do. And this was said. Have you done any investigation?
Mr. Adini, let's get it in clearly. You're saying that in Ondo State, the palliative for farmers, in this case you're specifically talking about poultry farmers, did not get to poultry farmers?
It is just, I am making an instance.
Of course.
On this one.
Of course, that's why I said specifically.
I wasn't part of the program, but I saw it on Facebook. And what caused my curiosity was alleging that there was a time eggs were being sold 5,000 naira from the farm, and I said no. There not been a time they sold a crate of egg was sold for 5,000 naira from the farm. Then it was around 3,000 naira. Then
it was not to 3,000 naira
then. So the writer now put it in a way that because of this intervention, eggs price have dropped from 5,000 naira to 3,000 naira from the farm. And I said no, there was no time. If there is, tell me where and which farm is selling. We also sell egg. So
coming back on track, you're saying interventions meant for farmers must get to farmers.
Must get to farmers. Those are the things we are talking about. As a cocoa farmer, there are interventions for on the cocoa seedlings or whatever. It must get to them. Not necessarily people that are in government. Not necessarily people that are close to me. You want to distribute these things, you think there are people that are close to you, even that is not useful to them. At the end of the day, they got it, they took it back to the market to resell for people who who even doesn't need or who have any use of it. So that's what I was saying. If there are intervention from government to any of these farmers, it should get to them. That will enhance productivity at the farm, and there will be more food. In the society. The tomato farm everybody is running to now. Go and find out how much it costs. We have done it. How much it costs to cultivate an hectare of a tomato farm. You know that you and I do not have that resources, and that is the simple truth. So we expected that by now, if we want to encourage so that we don't continue to depend, that is why it's costly. Only few people has the finances to do it. So many people ran into it. They cried back because they never knew that was how expensive it is. It's actually expensive. So we expected that government at this level will be able to say we are supporting some of these things. We've been crying of shortage of food. The Southwest has a very, they are very large in land mass, or Ondo, Ekiti, or stuff like that. What are we doing? Nothing. Everybody keeps running from Akure, for instance, to Abuja. They run from Ado Ekiti to Abuja, from Osogbo to Abuja. They abandon their people. And that is what we are saying. But if it boils down to what I've said earlier on the issue of this local government, if there have been an administration at the local level, I do not need to come from Ondo town to come and bother the governor at Alabaka. I can go from there and go to the secretariat and say this is what we wanted. There was a time tractors were given out in this state. But my brother, to get the use of that tractor, it pays you to go and rent outside. They will charge you for diesel, they will charge you for workmanship, they will charge you for motorbike, they will charge you for everything. So it makes it cumbersome, and people say we cannot, rely on this, and that is the simple truth. Then what is the signal of one tractor per local government? So if we must secure, if there must be full security, the government of the day must be serious. About it. And kudos to the federal government once again on this local government, because now we know that if truly
you seem so elated about this.
Yes, because I am telling you, go and mark it in a few months, you begin to see that all of the states will be conducting local government elections.
So if this issue of Ministry of Livestock Development sees the light of the day, as it is already seeing the light of the day, isn't it an indictment that the Ministry of Agriculture in Nigeria is just a deadwood?
Your guess is as good as mine.
It's not a guess, I'm just asking.
Yeah, it's as good as mine, because I'll begin, if I happen to work in any of the department of the Ministry of Agriculture, now I'll begin to see myself as a failure. That why creating, it means that we are not useful in this particular area, despite that the agency used to be under and it's being moved out. Or is it that there is a special thing the president want to do about it? But why Nigerians could not be cajoled into that is that there was a time the city president of this country said he doubles as the minister of petroleum. It was at that particular time that we suffer more petroleum crisis. So we now bring such idea. Either you want to make yourself the minister, the coordinating minister, or whatever, we will still be skeptical about it. But we want to give it to him that whatever, there must be what is noticed or have seen that some of us are not seeing yet, why it's bent on creating a livestock ministry. If it's just to curb the other farmers' crisis, I will still give it to him, because that's enough. Because I kept wondering when I saw this.
Still give it to him, despite that the Minister of Agriculture could not do it.
Yes, because where I'm going to, that farm I saw in Niger State, and immediately I was happy about it. Something kept telling me at the back of my mind, what if at the point of harvest, others move in their cows and they destroyed everything? Then what would have been, you understand? So government must be alive to their responsibility. Everything boils down, we keep saying it, everything boils down to leadership. Followership is my own issue, but the best way to cure Nigeria crisis is the leadership. The leadership must get it right. There won't be anywhere to run to. Followership will just follow.
Now, let's quickly talk about curbing corruption in Nigeria. You remember that just a few months after inaugurating ministers, one minister came under the hammer of anti-corruption crusade and went on suspension. Perhaps that's been the last we heard of her. Now, that I also talked to Wagin already about the Ministry of Women Affairs having issues with spending and all of that, and then it became a rapid session at the National Assembly. What do you make of the early detection of corruption in the Tinubu administration?
It is a sign. It's not to Nigerians. It's a sign of good things to come. But to the administration itself, I think it's a sign of bad omen, because before you have been favored out of the population of your state, then whoever is pushing you forward, you must have at the back of your mind that you are not only responsible to the president, to the country, but there are people within your family, your community, your state that are looking up onto you. And that is why most of the time I look at the Tinubu administration and say, if Mr. President really wants to fight corruption, whoever has anything to do with allegation should be just relieved of his or her office. You can live without your head being shaken at that, because as at that time you are now the face of the government everywhere you go to. So it is embarrassing at times when you see, to them they might not be, but I am sure presidents will be looking at that. Why do we pick people and they come back. There are people that are doing fantastically well. What their job requires are the fake. But why would some of us be going this mile and allegations of money running to billions of naira? So to me, it's good for Nigerians that we are seeing this happening. Truly, the Messiah might not have gotten to the point of Messiah, but to the government itself, it's about that they should check. Themselves. Don't forget the statement of their former national chairman before, because when you look at all the political parties, it is from this place to this place. They move today. The same people destroy party A, came to party B to be Messiah. They moved there to party C to be, and that is what they've been crisscrossing. All of them, and that is why it's difficult for us to get it right. To win presidency, you need the whole lot of people, and when you now became the president, you also need to show them their appreciation. But it's unfortunate that some of them are already showing signs of failure, of ingratitude by involving themselves in things that are not supposed to be. Before it will come to the media, because it will come to the clear discussion that you have been alleged or something, there must be an altar of truth. And on this note, we want to beg the National Assembly, forget about party affiliation, do the right thing. If not because he's a party member, then we must shield him. When you continue to shield, one day it will get to your turn.
Well, finally, before I let you go, let's come back to Ondo State. Recently, there was a clash between some headers and officers of Amotekun Corps in this state, and it was a terrible one. And many people condemned that attack by headers against Amotekun officers, taking cattle that went to destroy a particular farm in this state. Many have therefore been calling for more support for Amotekun. Many are saying perhaps there should be sophisticated weapons given to them. Many are also saying that their morale should be more boosted. How well can the government of the day really encourage Amotekun officers to do more in the aspect of protection of lives and property, in conjunction and synergy, of course, with other security agencies?
You see, the last aspect of your sentence is what interests me more. Where is the synergy? If Amotekun is under attack, and we have the Nigerian police force, we have the Nigerian army, we have the Nigerian civil defense and whatever, NSCDC, and Amotekun, a sister agency, is being attacked. Where is the synergy amongst them? I blame Amotekun in one fold. You are going for an operation that will take you, you see, you gather interest information. This operation will take you across their major abode. Then you don't do it alone. Forget about who takes the glory. The glory should be for Ondo State people and not for that agency. You couldn't have done that. But imagine Amotekun leading there to those cows, police following them, the army with who will see when you see what one soldier in his full regalia, you get scared. It wouldn't have. Thank God, no life was lost. It's painful. It is the synergy we should talk about. They cannot be doing all of this. Most of the time, you see this report out of every 10, 9 of them will come from the Amotekun Corps. Kidnappers arrested, ransom takers arrested, vandals arrested. It is Amotekun. What happens to other? There should be an encouragement between all the sister agencies to secure the state. It's not an easy to secure a state. Amotekun can, though they know why Amotekun is succeeding largely is because they are from the people. They are from the grassroots. So they know who and who, but they cannot do it alone. There is no way they can secure the state alone. There must be synergy among.
In 60 seconds, Mr. Dini, we have to go now. The government rolled out vehicles for security agencies. Or beyond that, what more should government do to ensure security of lives and property is enhanced in the state?
The officers and men of all the agencies must be well motivated at all times. Because when our discussions with members of the forces, we know that most of them, their morals are even down, completely down, ranging from their salary to welfare to their condition of service.
So it should not be about vehicles alone.
It should not be about vehicles alone.
I have to thank you very much, Mr. Alex Adeniyi, the Secretary of Interparty Advisory Council, IPAC in Ondo State. Of course, we've touched issues having to do with the local government election and matters arising. We've also touched on the anti-corruption crusade in Nigeria, as well as enhancing food security through policies that work and implementation of same in a very acceptable manner. Thank you so much, Mr. Adeniyi. I'm very grateful to have you.
Thank you, President.
Thank you so much. Everyone, this is a wrap on the program today. Next week, Thursday, is another